It's another Purple Alphabet holiday gift guide. Hey you guys, it's Christina from the Purple Alphabet. This one is sponsored by Junior Learning. Junior Learning has a lot of activities that you can do with your kids that promote learning educational based play. I have a lot of ideas for you, plus a giveaway at the end of the video. And as always, definitely watch all the way through because there is a bonus secret clue somewhere in the video that you're gonna wanna remember for when you enter. Let's get started. In my house, fidgets are all the rage. I showed a lot of these in my last Junior Learning video. This one is a new one. It's called bubble boards, but this is number rods. I'm kind of in love with these. I'll admit it. Recommended for ages 4 and up. Oh my gosh, do you guys remember last year? All of the bubble board things from Junior Learning, there are so many different options of how they combine learning with the fidgets, and I think it's just brilliant. This time we have the number rods, which I love. They are just your simple pop-it fidget bubble popper fidgets that we all know and love and our kids are obsessed with, but they're made into number rods. So I have the first one, which is 10, all the way down, I'll put them in order here, to the single bubble popper. You do get 2 5s, and I'll tell you why I think that's important. All right, so you already know that this is great for basic counting, especially when you're learning how to count, and you can just pop the numbers as you count, 1, and then there's 2, and then you can do comparisons like 2 plus 1 equals 3, or 4 plus 2 equals, I can find it, equals 6, right? Great number comparisons that way and learning number relationships. You will also notice that on 5 and above, there's this little line here all the way across because this is counting 5 and then 6. So it's really easy to count. Okay, that's 5 plus 2, 5 plus 3. So you can use that when you're learning in the number relationships that this is 5 and 3 more equals 8. You can look at it that way, or you could take, maybe we'll take the 8 and we can take our 5 and put it next to there, and we can take our 3 and see that that makes up the whole. So I think that's a pretty cool thing, especially if you're learning about 10 frames. They also have the 10 frames, by the way, just so you know. They do give you 2 5s, which is great because that makes 10. So now you can see the relationship with the 10. You can make that into a 10 frame as well and use that for 10. So I think that's an excellent feature. Use these with flashcards. So if you have a flashcard and it was just a number flashcard, you can find that number and put it with it. Or you could use an addition or subtraction flashcard and do the same thing if you have like 4 plus 2, find the 4 and put it on there to get your answer and pop it out to get your answer. This is really, really fun. So many uses for this. I could probably make a whole video just on bubble poppers. Actually, I have a couple videos on bubble poppers. We'll have to put those in the corner. But yeah, great way to use the number rod. Oh, and of course, I forgot number sequencing, putting them in the correct order for number sequencing. Although your 1 should be over here and your 2 should be over here. Yeah, you get it. You understand. You're my people. You know what I'm talking about. I have 2 different types of puzzles, synonyms and antonyms, which are a great way to learn. I love that they are 4-part cards. Let me show you how they work. Are recommended for ages 5 and up just because of the concepts that they teach. So I have antonym and synonym. Let's look at the synonym first. There are 12 puzzles in here. Each puzzle has 4 pieces to it. So we have this one, afraid and scared. So you have the visual picture here as a clue, a context clue to help you understand. So now when you have your choices for the words to go in, the cut of the puzzles look very similar, but they still won't fit. So when you find the right word, it will fit very nicely. Like will begin fit over here, begin won't fit over there. So you have to know what word it is so they fit nicely. So if I was starting with this with a child, I would pick out a couple of different puzzles, maybe 4, 3 at the most, add on a whole bunch of other different puzzle pieces and break them apart that way, and then work up to doing all the puzzles at once. Now the antonyms are set up in the same way. And so you know this is a different puzzle set because the border around the puzzle is different. These are kind of like a hot pink fuchsia around the border where these were purple, so that way you know you won't get them mixed up. I also like to use these as part of obstacle courses to get kids moving. So have some of the puzzle pieces on one side of the room, go through an obstacle and take it to the other side to complete the puzzle, which is a really great way to use these, especially if you have kids who are very active. So we have the synonym puzzles and the antonym puzzles for learning words that have the same meaning and words that have opposite meanings. two different types on this one. I have parts of speech flips and I also have sentence flips. I wanted to include these sentence flips and parts of speech flips in this gift guide because I just think that they are a really simple but effective tool, especially when learning parts of speech. The first one I have is the sentence flips, and they're double-sided and they actually stand up. So if I set it up, it stands up like a little tent here, but since we're on camera, it's easier to show you flat. So I have this side here, which has noun, verb, preposition, and noun, and then the other side has noun, verb, adjective, and noun. So depending on what skill you're working on will determine what side you want to use. Each section has a stack of flashcards that flip over. So all the nouns, here's the frog, gran, clock, she, and then we have verbs, swam, stood, travels, prepositions, across, beside, and then another noun at the end. The pool, the fish, the hill. You can create sentences this way. She runs under the hill, and you're working on vocabulary, but more importantly, the parts of speech and recognizing them. So you could prompt a child and say, can you change the verb in the sentence? And they can find the verb and change it to travels. Or can you change the preposition in the sentence? You can also record these and write them out after you've created the sentences, which I think is a really great way to visually see it, verbally say it, and to write it is a great way for learning. Then you can flip it over to the other side and do some of the same kind of activities, but this time using adjectives, or find the silliest sentence that they can find and write that sentence down. Then we have the parts of speech flips, which also fold down into a tent and has the similar setup of two sides. So this side has the article, pronoun, adjective, noun, verb, preposition, then a noun. On this side has the article, pronoun, noun, verb, adverb, preposition, and noun. Same thing with all the different stack of cards. So you can flip through these. His, I'm going to do an adjective, hungry, a noun, caterpillar. Sounds like a familiar story we know. Preposition, above, the cow. And they can create full sentences using the parts of speech with this one. And then once again, the other side too. The girl runs slowly on the house. Doesn't quite make sense. Can you make it make sense? A carrot. The castle. Let's change the preposition. Slowly behind the castle. I also think it's a really great idea with these is to create a sentence and then build a story off that sentence. So you can have some creative storytelling too, or just work on changing the meanings of sentences by changing some of the words, like maybe the preposition and how that changes the meaning of the story, and looking at those kinds of relationships. Definitely plan on using this one in my house. They are meanings flashcards. Meaning flashcards are recommended for ages 6 and up. This is a little bit more advanced skill than some of the other things I've showed you. This actually comes with 3 different sets of flashcards. We have metaphors and similes, multiple meanings, and idioms. And each one comes with its own set. The reason why I picked this is because I have found in my house that my kids have a little bit of difficulty determining the difference between these meanings. So we have a stack here. They're all color-coded too. So each one will be color-coded to the box it goes to, so you don't get them mixed up. And they're all double-sided. So here's an example. This is an idiom. He was a wolf in sheep's clothing. So it shows a picture of a wolf literally in sheep's clothing. But if you flip it over to the other side, it has an explanation. He was a person who pretends to be nice, but is not. So another one for idiom. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. And you flip it over. It is hard to get people to change their habits and to learn new things. Let's take a look at multiple meanings. I like to swing my baseball bat. Flip it over. I sit on the swing at the playground. So 2 different meanings for the word swing. The swing word is highlighted. Turn the music down. And then we have I go up and down the stairs. And then for metaphors and similes, this car is a lemon. It has a picture of a car that looks like a lemon. And when you flip it over, the car is old and run down. So as you can see, it really helps explain the meanings behind some of these. And you can also play a game with these afterwards, like test each other, say them and see if the other person can determine the meaning on it. I do want to point out that this set also works with Flashbot, which is another, it's a card flipper that Junior Learning sells. So if you already have that and use that with the other flashcards they have, this is compatible with Flashbot. We use 10 frames a lot in our house, especially during the early years of mathematics. These are 10 frame towers. 10 frame towers. Been talking about numbers a little bit in this video, and this time we're talking about 10 frames again. So in 10 frames, you get these dice, and each one has a different 10 frame piece on it. Then you get the actual frames. This one comes with 65 frames to use with the game. So I'm gonna separate them out by size here. And separating them out is how you would actually start the game. They do sit right on top of one another, which makes them easy to stack. So for this game, you go ahead and you roll to find out which two you get to pick on your turn. So on my turn, I get the 10 and I get a 4. Now the object is to see who gets the biggest stack at the end of the game. So once I do this and I have a 10 and I stack it on there, then I've got my stack started and they just snap together. The next person rolls and goes on their turn, and however many players are playing will go until it gets back to you, and then you'd roll again. So this time I got a 4 and a 0, so I only get 1. So I've almost made another 10. Let's say it got back to me again, got a 0 again, that one, so I have to try to stack it on there. Now I need a 1 for this one, I need a 2 for this one, and so you keep on rolling. Oh, I got a 2 until all of the pieces have been gone. And then at the very end of the game, you can see who successfully has made a full set of 10s. So I didn't make a full set of 10s, so that one doesn't count. And this blue one didn't count because I still need a 1. So I only have a stack of 2 sets of 10. So you can see how you would create all kinds of number connections, number bonds with these, and learning what combinations will actually make up 10. I think there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. They give you some ideas in the instruction booklet on how to use these in other learning ways, which I think is amazing. There's like 12 up here, everything from tracing to number lines to counting. You can even use these in different games too for addition and adding. If it were me, I'd also add in all of those number rods and see what kind of games we can come up with those too. What numbers equal 10, or even just using the 10 frame for 10 frame activities. So you could trace this on a piece of paper and have a 10 frame already on your paper and use that for counting, coloring in the dots as you go. So different ways to use this, and I think it's very, very versatile. I love it. I think it's an amazing idea, and I like that they can all combine together and stack. Time for those giveaway details. First things first, make sure you're subscribed to the Purple Alphabet YouTube channel. Then leave me a comment down below telling me how you would use the bubble boards. These are the number rods, and they are what we're giving away in today's video. Go to the giveaway link to officially enter to win. It's in the description box. You must be 18 years of age or older and have a US postal address. I am definitely going to announce the winners right after Thanksgiving, so make sure you follow along and watch that video because you'll have 72 hours to claim your prize. You guys make sure to click subscribe to see more videos like this and give me a thumbs up to share your love.